be doing the presentations in a little bit different format. What I'm going to do is basically I'm going to do the presentation in MindJet. So this is how it's going to work for each of the presentations. I'm going to do the presentation in MindJet. So this is actually a volume map. So every time I do a presentation, all the content and detail of the presentation will be in the map, and then I'll basically have that available for you to access at the end of the session. So straight after we finish the session, you can go into this map and I'll upload that. I'll give you access to, so if I just go out of here, you'll see volume analysis, so that'll appear as one of the resources in the maps, and you will be able to I'll upload that to the general area. As you can see, I've been pretty busy doing just tidying up all the maps and making sure that they're all kind of finished off, and I'll start making those available to everybody. So it's one resource in, or all of the resources are in one spot. So as we do a session every week, and every week we'll be doing something different, that information, the presentation, will be contained in the map, and then I'll basically upload that to the general area so you can access it. So for example, if we go to the master area, or sorry, the mentoring program, you can see that everybody's got access to this map here, the risk management module. So I'll upload the volume there, and I'll put all the other maps in there as well, and then you can just copy that information into your personal map. So each person will have in MindJet their own personal map. So if we go into, say for example, if we go into Karen's map, you'll see that Karen has her Trader's Mind map. Or if we go into say Tim's map, you can see that Tim has he's got his new trader program master map, the risk management module, and the Trader's Mind map. So, and then I'll obviously drop volume in there as well, so you can access that and have your own version of the volume map, and you can add to that too. So if you find that during the presentation tonight there's some things you want to add to your volume map, then great, you can do that. So let me just open this up, and that way every week the maps, or the information, or the presentations that I'm creating for us as a group, we can basically you can add information to that, as I said before. So let's get into it. We're going to talk about volume tonight, and this is really, for a lot of traders, volume is an untapped resource that we don't typically always utilize. Now, what I've found on speaking to a lot of people through the program and different traders over the last 6 months, that a lot of people aren't using or don't utilize the power of volume. So what I want to do tonight is basically just start exploring what opportunities volume can provide us, particularly in our trading. And you'll see as we move forward, with when you get the beta test version of the V2, that a big part of the V2 is volume. So we use volume in that system to determine the likelihood or the probability of trade setting up. We use it to determine our entry or our potential trade setup. So what we're going to do today is we're going to explore how volume kind of impacts on the market, and what we can utilize volume for in our trading. So let's have a look. Let's start up the top here. Now there are three key pieces of information that we get from the exchanges. So on the futures exchanges, they are basically price data, volume data, and the average trade size. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to quickly just show you a time and sales window to reflect exactly what that data is. So when we look at exchange data, you can have a look at TradeStation here. You can see the markets have been down pretty heavily, but this is a bit of a look at what comes from the exchanges. This is a breakdown of the S&P. It's a time and sales window, so it's showing us that the time that the transaction's occurring. It's a trade. It's showing the price at which it's occurring. It's showing the size of the actual trade, so it's showing what the size of the units are going through, its exchange, and whether the actual trade was executed at the bid or the ask. So that's what that information shows us, and that's what comes from the exchange, and that's what feeds into our charts when we're trading. So if we take that back over again, you'll see that we've got price data, so we know what the price is. We've got volume data because we know what the volume of it is coming through and we're going to explore that in a second. And I'll just open this up here so we can, and we know what the average trade size is. So if we specifically look at volume tonight, which we are, we know that volume is the number of shares or contracts traded in a commodity or a futures contract during a given time. So really it's simply the contracts that exchange hands between the buyers and the sellers as a measure of activity. So you saw there the activity that was occurring in the market. They were real-time trades that were being executed either at the bid or the ask, and that gives us an idea of what the potential volume is. And from that as well, we can see that what the average trade size is. So we saw there that there were some of those trades going through, and I'll bring it back into the room. Some of these trades are going through as small units, so they would be retail traders, and then you occasionally see block trades go through, so the 100, 200, 1,000. So that happens more during obviously the US session, but you see some fairly substantial trade sizes go through. And if we were to categorize the types of traders that are in the market, we would know that if we look at size, average trade size, we could say that in the market there's basically the professionals and the amateurs. So the professionals are the ones that are really trading with, they're identified based on their average trade size. So we look at professionals as having substantial size in the market, and we're going to explore that a little bit here in a minute. But just as a bit of a recap or refresher, we know that I've just got some definitions there on the bid and the